Hey there, I hope all are well. I was going to start doing readings, and then I am basically being told to do this video right now. I'm feeling very inspired. And this is just about control and self-control and the lack of control and how we perceive control and how we also perceive the lack of it. So, yeah, where in your life are you feeling that? In which situations in your life are you feeling that? Are you feeling that with other people? Are you feeling that within yourself? Are you feeling that with situations with other people because you can't control their actions and what they're going to do? And how that might affect your feelings, how it might affect what you want the outcome to be. Is this a situation where it's like you're dealing with your own internal struggles, and so we are in control and out of control, and however that may look? You know, some people self-harm, and self-harm can look in so many different ways. We can, physically, injure ourselves. Some people cut, some people eat, some people drink, some people have unsafe physical connections. It's very reckless either way, all of these situations that I'm speaking of, but in a way they're to help self-soothe where we're feeling out of control. So, where do you feel out of control, and at what point do you say, universe, take the wheel? At what point do you say, I trust that I have no control in a situation, and therefore I allow it to just bring me whatever information it needs to bring me? I'm open to process it without attachment or control. When does that happen for you? And if it hasn't happened yet, how can you help it happen? How can you make yourself more accessible to that type of outcome so you're not controlled by what you can't control? I'm going to go ahead and use the David Bowie deck. We'll just see what kind of insight we can get from this. This is not a reading for any specific signs, but whatever information we can get out of this is for everybody. We have the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is popping up. Where in our home are we out of control? Where in our life, within those people that are in our home, within our foundations, this doesn't just have to mean your home, but it can also talk about your foundations in your life, the people you hold closest. Where are you at odds with them? Where are you feeling out of control or subject to somebody else's actions, which has a direct effect in your life, but you also can't control it? Sometimes when we can't control the actions of others, we shut them out, and whether or not that's a good thing or if it's warranted, it can happen. Sometimes we shut people out because we're afraid to get hurt. Sometimes we've been hurt so many times by them, they've shown us who they are. Sometimes it's very difficult to trust certain people because they've shown us how they are not trustworthy. And so it's almost like playing a game with yourself of, can I trust them, can't I trust them? Trust that they're not trustworthy if that's what's going on, It's not your fault that somebody has to walk this planet cloaked and hooded. They do it for whatever protection they need, whatever element they can control to control situations so that they don't feel out of control. Remember, this is just like a back and forth game, a ping pong game of out of control, in control, in control, out of control. And I know these words are probably going to really annoy you as I'm speaking them. They're annoying me. Control, control. Yeah. Where And how do others affect our foundation in our own life? How do others affect the connections in our own life? You know, do they affect your connection with yourself and how you believe in yourself, how you trust your own self-judgment, how you make decisions? And if they do, what element of this connection are you holding on to? What element are you hopeful for rather than being brutally honest in? And I do want to say the Four of Wands, if we are talking about home, you are your home. Whether or not you have four walls above you, you as a human being are always your own home. You are that vessel. And so how is it that you are feeling pulled apart? Where is it that you need to tighten it up a little bit? What needs to give? You have the Death card, the Two of Wands, Ten of Cups. This is about pathways and directions. With the Death energy here, it can talk about realizing the things that we cannot control must be released. The attachment to them is something that keeps us within, it controls. The attachment is the controlling aspect of it. You have no say in a matter. Let it go. Let it be reborn into something new or not. Whatever it is, but you have to release that so you can choose a different path, a different direction here. It's freeing up old connections. It's freeing up ties that bind. It's no longer being tethered to things. It's looking at situations for what they really are and being brutally honest with how you are effective in your own life. With the Ten of Cups, this talks about families. You know, who in your family has certain levels of authoritation or authoritative energies about, you know, who is the authoritative, who are the authoritative people in your life? Are they still, is it a healthy, you know, type of connection? Who are these people? You know, what do they mean to you, and why do you allow certain connections to take less or more, make less or more importance in your life? Do they support your happiness? Can you be silly and playful with them? I guess the reason that I'm mentioning all this for whomever I'm speaking to is it feels like there's a shift in consciousness right now. It feels like there's a shift in awareness when it comes to the level of control that we allow ourselves to have. It's all perceived, you know, it's all perceived, especially when it comes to the things you can't. So how can you find emotional satisfaction, or at least emotional safety is what I really want to say, not satisfaction, emotional safety when it comes to your partnerships, to your friends, to the people who you care about? Where do you draw the line? Where do you say, let go and let God, or whatever you want to call it? How do you make room for things that are new to you, rather than trying to hold on to something that is either going to remain a certain way, and you've seen it remain a certain way? How do you release those things? How do you allow those attachments to be diminished so that you can have a different outcome? You can allow yourself a different outcome. The Hangman. It's the time of assimilation, you guys. The assimilating of release. The assimilating that the things that we've held on to hardest and most need to be completely revisioned. Our attachments to certain things need to be revised. And if they are truly to be meant in our lives, then they will do so. But how do we change our view and association with the attachment and the control of the situation? How do we allow ourselves that freedom? And if you are not having that in this certain area, do you take that out on yourself in another area of your life? Because with this card, just even visually, it reminds me of the Ace of Swords. To have clarity in that, to have a very deep understanding in the knowing, in the separation of everything, to have your own personal connection to your own oneness, your importance, your mind, your energy, your meaning. Your world that you experience is a direct reflection of that. And so how you choose to allow specific things in is going to affect that. And here it's asking for you to take a step back, look at things from the deepest level. No conniving, no strategic planning, no manipulation tactics. Just look at a thing for what it is in bite-sized pieces and trust it. Trust it to show you the truth, and then make your own judgment, your best assessed judgment of what you'd like to do with it moving forward. How much you would like to give of yourself moving forward. What type of energy you would like to plant in it moving forward. This is the Eight of Cups in reverse. For some of you, this is situations of your past or things that you have yet to walk away from. This can be returning to situations that you may be very held on to. There's some sort of connection here that keeps you, or that you allow yourself to be hostage to. I'll say it like that. You fan its flames. What are you getting out of it emotionally? Because emotions are all over the place, it feels. And when they are, we just honestly try to get our needs met. It's a mechanism to self-soothe. It's a mechanism of protection. It's a mechanism of stability. What about whatever is holding you to the past, or that you've tried to walk away from, but you can't do it? Even if it's an idea, what is it that is drawing you back to it? Does it warrant more consideration? Does it warrant your time? Or is it something that you can trust to not change? Either way, there's some sort of element here where we're attached to a thing, a person, a place, an idea, a hope that is needing to be looked at through a very deep lens of honesty to see why we're holding on to it, why we are hostage to it. Justice. Justice is the energy that comes in. It's honesty, it's truth, It's to regulate. It's to trim the fat. It's to thin the herd. It's to be honest within ourselves and to have that clarity, that peace of mind, that trust within ourselves. Some of us don't even trust ourselves to make decisions. And then we go on our emotions to make those decisions. But if you can't trust yourself, how are you going to trust your emotions? It's a very unstable way and a flimsy way to approach things. I feel here you guys are going to be taking a very slow approach, or at least the energy moving forward is a very slow and honest approach in how you choose to engage in things moving forward, how you choose to allow things in your life moving forward. If you know a certain thing about a certain person, of course people can change, but oftentimes they don't. And if they prove to you that they don't and they won't, trust it. Even in this card, the brain versus the heart. What do we trust? Our thoughts, our logic, our thinking? Do we trust our heart? What are the other alternatives? There's some element here where you will eventually have to make a decision. But that decision is one that needs to be healthy for you. Okay? It needs to be rooted in the efforts of consistency moving forward in your life. This is an energy where we are being very consistent in how we associate ourselves with people, with situations, with endeavors that we even choose to continue and go into. A lot of head over heart thinking here. A lot of contrasting feelings I'm feeling. Three of Cups. It's friendships. It's people who we are getting to know. It's our playmates. With the Justice card here, it might be a situation where you're starting to really have to be honest about how you feel and what your attachments are to this person or this group of people, how it affects you, how you placate to remain within it, how you sidestep to not address situations that are uncomfortable for you. This is asking for you to really look at a situation for what it is. It's asking for you to put your highest and best at the top of the line. You are the priority, not your feelings. You are the priority, not how you want to be perceived by people or how you wish to perceive them, because just with a little love, they'll change. It's not about that. What is best for you and what is best for you now? This can also talk about, like, with the Three of Cups, it's a self-soothing energy as well, other than, like, going out and partying and whatnot. But, like, again, it's that self-soothing energy, you know? How are you your own friend? What type of friend are you being to yourself? Are you hurting yourself? Are you taking it out on yourself? Are you being somebody that is problematic in your own life? Would you do that to a friend? It's really asking you to look about how you are your own friend. Because a lot of us don't even like ourselves. You know, the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. This energy shows up where we are neglected, where we neglect ourselves, where we neglect our own health, where we are reckless with our money, where we're reckless with the foundations in our life. This is a very depressed energy. It's a very woe is me energy. It's a very heavy energy that feels stuck. It's a self-sabotatory energy that takes it out on itself. and it takes it out on other people through their actions. It's somebody, it's the mom who just gives up, and so everybody else kind of like goes and experiences that giving up. It's the dad who gives up. Same scenario. But through that neglect, through that loss of momentum, it has direct effects on all of the ones in our lives. It has direct effects on everything around you. And the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, it's asking for us to be at peace with what is, and to slowly start to piece together how change can happen, and then actively take the change to make it happen. You know, this is a very beaten down energy. It's very tired. The Ace of Swords in reverse. This is not having clarity. It's not trusting your thoughts. It's lying to yourself. It's allowing others to lie to you. Again, I feel that there's a very big message here where things are changing right now, and it's for the best, but it's almost as if the most pain happens before change can happen, and it's like asking you to rip off the bandage. And it's like a gorilla glue bandage. It's like stuck on there for lifetimes. It's stuck on there. It's almost become like a fusion within your own skin, right? To tear it off, you know it's going to leave a scar, but you have to get it off, right? Have that clarity, have the understanding, have the honesty and truth to do that for yourself. Because right now it feels like a lot of us are floundering. A lot of us are uncertain about ourselves. A lot of us are soothing ourselves in ways that are not helpful at all. They just cause more of a problem. Organ function, fat, weight gain, a lot of different energy like that. It's almost like an excessive accumulation of our feelings. Our liver, our kidneys, over drinking, overstimulating ourselves so we can be away from what we feel. This is age-old stuff. This is not anything new, but how you address it is what's important. And I guess sometimes we have to get tired enough to address it. And we have to remain tired enough to push it away, to really redirect our efforts and make change that's lasting, make change that's meaningful to you. Not because anybody else told you to do it, but because you find it meaningful. The change that you create is meaningful for you. It was a necessity. It gave me back my life. It meant I got to trust myself again. I was at my lowest point. All of those types of energies that I'm talking about right now, use them as fuel. Use them as a reason to, use them as a reason back to yourself. Because that's what they're there for. They're here to penetrate you painfully. They give you access back to you. Pain gives you access back to you. Don't run from it. Look at it. Sit with it. It's uncomfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable. But it's also affecting your life and making your life uncomfortable. View it for what it is and help it heal. Temperance, sideways. This is the internal struggle. This is the back and forth. This is the devil on my shoulder. It's the angel on my shoulder. It's the sinner in between the shoulders. It's the evil person. It's the self-martyr. It's the person that is crying out for help. and it's needing to find balance. There's no doubt in my mind that this card fell out sideways for a reason. It's on the precipice of finding that balance and sinking back into the sludge, into the quicksand, into the mire, into the pain. It's it's going in our head, letting the emotions and the anxiety of the fear win. It's dipping our toe in change. And then once you dip the toe, you can put more of your foot in change. And then 2 feet, and then full immersion. That's what it's asking. King of Wands. How do you take ownership of your life? How do you take ownership of your decisions? And when do you feel ready to move forward? When is it that your word is gospel to yourself? It doesn't have to be to anybody else, but when is your word gospel to you, right? When are you operating and functioning in a healthy form of mind and energy? Where it's not egoic and you're not trying to force your opinions and your thoughts and your intention on people, but you become an actual living example of things just flowing right in your life, you know? It's not trying to control anybody. It's not trying to deceive anybody. It's not trying to appear more than you are. If you find that you're doing things based upon your ego, or you're trying to do it to get a rise, or you're trying to do it to get attention, address that immediately. Look at it for where it is coming from. Look at it for what it is. It's wanting to control. It's begging to control. At what means, at what cost? Free yourself from that. It doesn't help you. The Empress. It's about putting yourself first. Ooh, bottom of the deck. The Emperor. I'm going to put that here. Where in your life are you, oh my God, say the words. Where in your life are you, for those of you, I guess, who are in partnerships, are you allowing your partner to control you in any way? Are you allowing your partner to have a certain level of dominance that isn't agreed upon in any way, other than playing kink games? You know, does your partner have a sense of dominance over you? Are you a secondary person? Are you a second-class citizen in your home? You know? Are you in something because of stability? Are you in something because of security? Are you in something because you have children and you can't get out of it, or you perceive you can't get out of it? Or are you in something because you absolutely have deepest love and consideration? For some of you, you may be entering into a situation here with a new person. If this is not something that's happened yet in your life, some of you may be connecting to a person where there may be a little bit of a power struggle. There may be a little bit of a dynamic where somebody might want to control a little bit more. And so I guess it makes sense for us to consider how and what control means to us, having it and not having it. Things can go very far here. A lot can happen here in this connection, whether it's new or old. But again, we have to address the energy of what efforts do you put into something, and for why? What are you doing it for? Are you being controlled or are you not? Are your emotions running the show? I feel here that a lot of you are wanting to be seen. And you're doing your damnedest to be seen for who you are and what you contribute, for who you are and how you are. But let your life lead. Just, you don't have to go out the extra mile to prove or show anybody that you are or you aren't, whatever. I feel that there's a struggle of like trying to secure a relationship so we can be in a relationship or a connection that is so strong. The desire to be seen, the desire to be adored, the desire to be loved, and we all need love. But is it love if you're having to beg for it? Is it love if you're having to peacock for it? Those that peacock and parade around trying to get attention are often the ones that you should stay away from, because they're using whatever they have to get that attention. And it works. It works on a very surface level. But when you get involved with those types of people, they show you very quickly that there's not much other than surface level. Especially for those of you who are tired of that type of energy. Especially for those of you who know that you deserve more of an in-depth connection where people are considerate, where people are understanding and self-reflecting, where people have gone through their bullshit and done the homework. And even if they're still going through their bullshit, because we all will, you know, it's a never-ending story with that, but it's how you take control of it. It's how you access it. It's how you maneuver it and how you put it to bed, rather than shitting all over everybody in your life because you're the baby, but you're the monster. You're the emperor, but you're really the baby. Babies control everything. And they're just doing their job as being babies, but they won't let you sleep. They dictate when they eat. They dictate your life. And nothing against kids. Kids are beautiful. Every single one of us was one. But when they're an adult and they're wielding that type of energy over you, oh, it's a very, very problematic experience, especially when someone has meltdowns or it's unaddressed energy and they don't want to take accountability for how they got to those situations in the first place, but they're sure as hell going to make it your priority. You're the one that gets to take care of it for me. I'm just going to flail. I'm going to be angry. You're going to help me. Be careful about those types of energies. You're strong on your own. You don't need anybody. And if you're not strong on your own and you feel like you need somebody, get strong on your own so you don't need anybody. I know that's a harsh message, but you don't need anybody to survive. You don't need anybody to be who you are. Find out who you are rather than trying to mold into some sort of chameleon magic to get the attention of somebody else, to win them over. To win them over what? Who are you? Your actions and your content and quality of being should win someone over, not a peacock parade. Five of Cups. We're talking about efforts lost. We're talking about efforts lost. So, where in your life, what experiences have you put your efforts in and they have fallen short? You've been abandoned. People have neglected them. People don't see you for the efforts that you put in, so you just have to stop. That's the key. When you stop, that's the best. You know, it hurts more though when it should be reciprocal and it's not. It hurts more when you realize that you're the only one fighting for something. No matter how much somebody talks, you're the only one fighting for something. How does regret control you? How does abandonment control you? Three of Pentacles in reverse. How does rejection from our peers control you? How does it make you feel when somebody that you want to be in connection with dismisses you, ignores you, puts you in the corner energetically, puts you on a timeout? For what reason? Because it's easy for them. And how long do you allow yourself to have strength and patience for that? How long do you allow yourself to make up reasons and, accommodations for that? Oh, well, they can't deal with me right now, so I'll just wait. For what? The fact that they put you in a corner is a red flag. The fact that they can't communicate with you and they have to put you aside is a huge flag. Be mindful of that. Be mindful of how you're sidestepped. Be mindful of your own... Be mindful of how people treat your energy and how much you allow them. And if they're comfortable putting you in a corner, well, maybe you've made it comfortable. I don't think you're comfortable in the corner, but maybe you're comfortable or they're comfortable doing it. How long, though? For how long? What does it serve? Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Giving to situations that aren't real. It's the mirage effect. It's giving to things that can't give back. It's wanting so hard to make something happen, but it falls short. Might even be where you want to give so much and you just don't have it in you anymore. That can also show up. And when that happens, it might be a situation where you need to recalibrate your energy and feel better about your life, feel better about yourself, recognize your shortcomings, and grow upon them. Expand outwardly upon them. Like it's for your expansion. All of this bullshit is for your expansion. Life is annoying. Like life is tiring. I'm not even gonna lie. Like life is tiring. But it's almost as if like sometimes we give to the wrong situations, and so it's become a pattern in our life. And it's like when we want to actually like give to something, it's like, well, how's that going to fuck up? How's that going to explode in my face? How's this not going to work? Why am I giving to something that's like not giving back to me? Like it's all of these like little synchronicities, these little reality checks that have to happen. A lot of people don't want to look at that. They just want to like have blind faith, blind hope, and give to situations that they know are problematic and not going to give back to them. It's giving that extra chance. Just one more chance. Just one more chance, baby. I love you so much. Just one more chance. Just let's do it again. For the kids. For the kids. I am in some strange mood today. I do not know what's going on. It's very interesting though, because this doesn't feel generally like me, but I'm trusting it because I'm told to do this reading right now. So we're going to do that. Five of Wands. You guys keep getting the hard cards. This is conflict. Conflict of interest, conflict of partners. This is feeling like you are the pick me. Why didn't you pick me? Why are you giving your attention to somebody else? Like, what is it about that person that is so important that I would give you so much more because my heart is real and because I have genuine care and genuine affection for you, but you're gonna like put me in a corner so you can do what you do over there. This is where we are at odds with people in our communication. It's fighting for no reason, fighting to be on top, fighting to be the one that's heard most. But what is your content? What is the outcome? Is it just to have the loudest voice? Or does it come with a meaning? Does it come with actual like movement and change? Because nobody wants to stay within a level of conflict. Nobody wants to be well, that's not true. A lot of people thrive on conflict. And if that is the case, or if you are that, move away from that. That's not healthy. It's not good for you, especially in connections, in your love connections, in your family and closest people connections. It's not good for you. You don't need to be the loudest. The loudest one that cries is the one that's fucking like the most broken. The one that's screaming loudest needs the most attention, but it's not for why they think. It's a loss of control. It's a loss of self-control. They don't actualize themselves. They have to gain whatever it is that they're trying to get externally. They're an empty vessel. Don't be an empty vessel, and don't entertain empty vessels. You cannot pour your energy into an empty vessel because it has a hole in it. You're going to be pouring for a really long time. Four of Swords and the Knight of Cups in reverse. Bottom of the deck, the Queen of Cups. So loving. You are so loving. Absolutely loving. But to whom? Whom? People that hurt you? People that are in recovery? People that aren't ready to meet your match or to meet your energy? People that are unhealed? People that are in places within themselves where they're begging for retrieval and you're trying to retrieve them? Like, what? No. No. Sit on the pain. Sit on the pain. Why do I need to sacrifice myself? Why do I need to save this person? What about them is so important to me that I have to save them? Why couldn't they save themselves? Why are they flailing? Where in their life are they flailing? And why is it your responsibility to be the loving, compassionate, considerate human being that you are? It just adds a very different slant to it. You're not my baby, right? Get off my tit. You ain't my baby. Be careful with people who manipulate you. Be careful with people who tell you all of the right things, but they themselves are coming from a place of brokenness. Because your compassion shows up endlessly in spades. Your efforts try to move things along. They try to take up the space and move it forward. And, yeah, I can champion you. If you are ever in a situation with a human being that is not incapacitated or your child, it needs to be a two-way street, okay? It's not about you trying to carry the lion's share and being the one that is the kind one, and I just keep doing and doing and doing, unless you're into self-martyrdom, but that's a whole nother problem. Be careful with how much energy you put towards people that can't be effective in their lives. You have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse with the Nine of Cups. It's interesting. The first thing that comes to my head is siphon energy. Siphon energy. We were just talking about how, like, if you're pouring yourself into a cup that has a hole in the bottom, you're going to be pouring for a really long time, right? Here, it's almost as if you have so much of this abundance and your intentions are good, but you're dealing with people that can't provide for themselves. And so they're leeching off of you. They're making it their mission to work you like a job. It's very strange how I'm seeing this. And it's like you've got a smile on your face, like, I've got plenty to give. I've got plenty to give. And you may very well have plenty to give until you're being run over, right? When you're run over, you really won't have much to give. It's interesting because I see this space here as like a massive symbol, like a gong, you know? Let it be a wake-up call to you. Pour your energy in to things that incorporate their energy into you. It's never one-sided, and when it is one-sided, be mindful of that. Let that loud, annoying, shocking, piercing gong that just went off here be a reminder. Get it together. Don't be used. Don't allow yourself to be used. No matter how noble you think you are, no matter how kind you think you're being, fleas suck blood. Parasites. Seven of Wands in reverse. Letting down your guard. But know when to do it. Know when to do it. Know when to let down your guard. Know when it's safe. And if nobody in your life is safe to do that with, keep your guard up. Let it down in your own life, though, because you're safe. Your decisions. Remember what we talked about earlier. I don't use words like this, but your word is gospel. You've got to trust what you are. You've got to trust what you believe. You've got to trust your own direction, narrative, path, your own story. You've got to trust who you are, the quality and content of your being. You believe it. You must believe it. And if you don't, rewrite your story so that it's a better one to believe in. Here, this is allowing our energies to no longer have to protect ourselves. You know, our intentions, our meanings, who I am. We don't have to protect that. We can just be it. I am it, I see it, I be it. So mote it be. You're a very powerful energy. You're a very powerful energy. And it's so interesting because the moths come to the flame. They come to the light. And you can be the light. You know, you can be the light for how many moths. You can be a bloodline for how many fleas. You know, you can do that all day, all night until you're gone, until your light goes out and you've been drained, right? Or you can be selective in who you allow into your life. You can be selective in who you give your energy to. You can be selective in how you justify trying to control situations in yourself that you feel out of control with, or allowing those things to live in you rent-free to harm you. That is also a parasite. Parasites don't have to be people or bugs. They can be ways of thinking, our own parasitic actions against ourselves. Be mindful of how you harm yourself. Okay, so the way I'm seeing this is what is hidden here, what is hidden, what's lurking in the shadows, what's lurking underneath. What do we need to do to take the lamp on, to put the lamp and the light on? You have the Page of Wands with the Nine of Swords, both in reverse. The Page of Wands in reverse is somebody who is reactionary. They are uncertain and unsure of their footing in life. They give off airs, and they try to they're like a mirage. They want to be all of these things to all of these people, and they can't do it, you know, or they try, and then you find out, you look through their little game, you know. Here, I feel it's important to Stop being all of the things for everybody, you know, where you are putting yourself in a self-sacrificial point, where you're trying to be, again, this chameleon energy. This chameleon magic has been known to be tragic. It's a quote from a Susie Sue song, or a Susie and the Banshees song. This chameleon magic has been known to be tragic. But why are we doing it? Is it anxiety? Is it fear of not being liked? You have to let it go. It doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve you at all. And it's just a massive level of control. It's literally a massive level of control, trying to be all of these things. It's very easy. No, it's not very easy. It should be easier. It's to simplify our lives to the point where it's just us. And I know that's not possible for a lot of you, because it isn't just you. You have partners, you have family, you have children. But how can you simplify it to the point where your interactions with people are only to the people that need you and, you know, require your energy the most? You know, and if you don't have anything, I mean, in a way, that's a blessing, just because you get to fine-tune yourself. And when you fine-tune yourself, you end up a beautiful experience to be around. You end up somebody who knows about themselves, not somebody who's full of themselves. There's humility in that. There's humbling of yourself within that. There's dealing with all the road bumps in life and making the best of them to make you a more well-rounded person. But don't engage people until you feel good about yourself and who you are, what you offer, how you show up for you. None of this trying to be everything for everyone because I'm flailing. King of Pentacles in reverse. This is slothfulness. This is addictions, porn addictions, food addictions, gambling addictions. This is using people for whatever we can get out of them. And it's somebody who doesn't want to change. It's somebody who doesn't want to look at themselves. It's somebody who doesn't feel like, you know, I don't really care how I affect others. It doesn't do what the fuck I'm going to do, you know? Take from you however I can, because I can, and you let me. It's a really ugly energy. Complete lack of accountability. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Some of you may be dealing with somebody like this. This seems to be the theme in this reading. Nine of Wands. It's asking for you to protect yourself. High Priestess. Protect yourself. Trust yourself. Listen to your inner wisdom, that little gut feeling, that little twinge in your tummy, that nudge, that, oh, whoa, I need to pay attention here. Trust that. The Nine of Wands shows up when it's asking for you to have a better sense of protection around yourself. You've gotten to that position for a reason, and you must maintain that protection here, especially with the High Priestess. It's asking for you to protect yourself within the inner realms. Utilize your intuition, because things around you may not be as what they seem. Messages and sentiments that you receive may not be what they seem. And if you're in a completely healthy relationship with people who you trust 100%, this message isn't for you. But if there's that doubt and that question, and you've caught people lying, and you've caught them like doing bullshit behind the scenes, this is you just trusting your inner wisdom. It's trusting your inner guidance and knowing how to navigate that when it shows up. Protect yourself. Trust yourself. Insecurity. Someone is unsure of themselves. I mean, so much of this reading is about that. You know, whether it's other people, whether it's ourselves, and how we approach our lives, how we, you know, try to gain allegiance, try to win people over, our insecurity running the show. And what is so much of insecurity? It's a lack of power. This whole reading is about power dynamics. The Tower. I mean, it's a beautiful combination. Insecurity and the Tower. It needs to come down. It needs to be looked at. It needs to be honest about itself. It's going to get torn down anyhow. Might as well do it yourself. You know, especially for those of you who hold guises, who beguile, who, you know, come at things with a false narrative, or like you try to manipulate certain situations. It's going to be seen and it's going to be heard. Horton the elephant's going to be seen, or whatever the fuck, you know. That's the Dr. Seuss rhyme that's going in my head right now. It's almost as if, like, you know, dumbing it down for you, because if you are dealing with that, or you're putting out that type of energy, you're going to get it back, but it's going to be an exposure that's going to suck ass, and you're going to be on your ass because of it. And if you can't take the lesson from that and make it a good one, learn from it, whew, heaven help you. This Tower is asking you to walk into the flames, to retrieve yourself, to pull yourself out of that. Insecurity is a lie. Insecure of what? Making a fool of yourself? Insecure that you're not going to do it right? Fucking do it. You breathe every day. You take breaths every day. Are you insecure about that? It's just part of life. What is so insecure? I'm challenging you, especially those of you who have massive insecurity issues. What are you insecure about? What are you holding on to when it comes to not seeing yourself in a better light, not seeing yourself as competent, not seeing yourself as somebody of power, of grace? You're worth it. You're a good person. You matter. And your directions that you choose to take, they're your own. Make them worth it. Make them matter in your life. Find and pinpoint where the insecurity in yourself is, because whatever it is and wherever it is and however it is, it's running the show. Power dynamics, control dynamics, they're all born upon insecurities. Be mindful of how much you feed them. Be mindful of how much energy it takes away from you and what you give it. Those things are there for you to learn from. Those things are there for you to understand yourself at a deeper level. Accept them, love them, nurture them. Bless them for the pain they've given you. Bless them for the experience they've given you in your life here. It's all wisdom. But when we relive it and we entertain it and we let it live a life of its own, it's problematic. And it drains you. So stop being drained. Stop giving your energetic being to situations that are not for you. The perception of power and control, perceive it how you will. But be mindful of how much energy you give it. And be mindful of how you view it. And where it has a place in your life. And how much of a place that is. How much regard you give it. How much reverence you give it, how much of your life you give it, okay? This is what I have for you guys. I hope that this is helpful. I love you. Take care. Bye-bye.